The barkeep was in the middle of preparing the old man's drink, so he didn't quite catch the full drift of the comment. He took his craft seriously, selecting the brightest mint leaves from the batch he had picked fresh that afternoon, pouring a precise measurement of the simple syrup he had prepped in the kitchen at the start of his shift. He brought to the mixing of a drink all the tranquility and generosity of a formal tea ceremony. He was in the process of gently muddling the leaves into the syrup, right in the highball glass, concentrating on the gentle part because anything more and the mint ripped apart, leaving the drink with the general consistency of pond scum.
"You look like you're doing okay for yourself, said the old man. Like things, they worked out all for the best."
I love my job. That was the extent of what the barkeep ever said about himself to a customer.
"How you doing tonight?"
said the regulars at Zanzibar when they climbed onto their stools and asked for their usual drinks. I love my job, he'd say.
"That's a good thing, to love your work," said the old man. "I love my work, too. It was a hard job, harder than you can imagine. It took more out of me than I even knew I had. But it was what I did, what I was. Excepting it's pretty much over."
The barkeep sliced a lime in half, squeezed the juice from each half into a jigger, dropped one of the emptied hulls into the glass along with a shot of the juice.
"I guess you could say I'm retired now," said the old man. "Didn't have no choice about it. My health couldn't keep up with the demands of the profession. And then my health, bad as it was, it took a turn for the worse. There's not much left of me anymore but the sickness. My last kidney's shot in my liver, my throat riddled with something. Well, that's why I'm on this little tour."
The old man wanted to talk, needed to talk. The barkeep didn't want to listen, but as he measured in 2 shots of white rum, he affected a mild interest. That was part of the job, to pretend to listen, to feign concern. There are 3 professions who play at that game. Barkeeps are the ones who do it on their feet.
"You ever hear of a fella named Walter J. Freeman?" said the old man. "A doctor of sorts?"
"No, never did," said the barkeep as he opened a bottle of sparkling water and poured it into the glass. He used San Pellegrino in his mojitos because the bubbles were so fine they gave the drink an admirable tightness. He filled the glass to the top with crushed ice and stirred with a straw.
"Quite an interesting man. He invented an operation that scrambled the front part of the brain like an egg. Lobotomy, he called it. He go right through the bone above the eyeballs to do it with nothing more than a hammer and an ice pick. The man performed thousands of the operations all over the country and claimed his lobotomy calmed the mind and aided digestion. Dr. Walter J. Freeman."
When the drink was chilled and the glass frosty, the barkeep twisted off a sprig of mint, smacked it between his palms to activate the scent, and dropped it on top of the drink. He placed the glass atop a coaster and slid it before the old man. The old man looked at the drink as if it were a lover slipping her legs beneath his sheets. He rolled up his sleeves, lifted the glass, closed his eyes, and pursed his lips daintily as he took a sip. His eyelids fluttered with pleasure.
"That works, boy," he said. "That's just Jimmy. Simple and pure. I feel like I'm back in that whorehouse in Cuba where I tasted my first."
$12.50, said the barkeep.
"That's damn stiff for a drink."
"It's a stiff drink."
"You mind if I run a tap, doctor?"
The barkeep glanced over at Marson, sitting like a sentry at the other end of the bar, before sizing up the chances of the old man being a runner. Marson would take it out of the barkeep's check if the bill went unpaid. On the old man's newly bared forearms were 2 matching tattoos, monochromatically blue but intricately wrought. On the left forearm was the head of Jesus. On the right forearm was the head of the devil. Both were staring up at the bar.